What is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the Dense Pixels podcast. I'm your host, Brad, joined by my co-hosts, Micah.
Hey.
And Carrie.
What's up?
It's Groundhog Day. The news this week is a hell of a lot like the news last week, which we will get to after a little bit of housekeeping. Do not forget to join the Discord by going to densepixels.com/fans, where you can chat with us and other listeners of the show about a great many things. You can go to youtube.com/densepixels to subscribe to us there, as we do release this podcast in video format every week. You can subscribe to Dense Pixels as well as all the other fine TNP Studio shows wherever you download your podcast. For $5 a month or $50 a year, you can sign up to TNP Premium, which will get you access to the premium slate of content, including the full weekly episode of the Look Forward Political podcast. And finally, you can also support the show by using our Amazon link to buy things, and that is densepixels.com/Amazon.
Speaking of premium, maybe another mouth going tongue soon.
Yeah, I'd like to. Let's do it.
Mission Impossible 8
7.
is available to rent.
7.
7.
Yeah.
Is it 7?
It is 7. Yes.
7. Yeah, because the next one is 8. Is available to rent.
Okay.
So perhaps that will be the next Man with the Golden Tongues.
Look, I've got no qualms with that. Like I said, we still need to start over the James Bond series so we can re-record new episodes for the lost episodes that are for some reason no longer in the premium feed. Because you guys
lost episodes?
Yeah, when we transitioned over to Podbean, like somehow a bunch of the episodes like just went away, and like we don't have anything earlier than like For Your Eyes Only, I think. So we've got like the entire Connery run and
remember the Moonraker. The Moonraker.
I know the Moonraker episode was legendary. It's a shame.
Like wow,
it's a shame that's gone. So yeah, more to come there for sure. So look. The news is terrible. Apparently, there are no safe jobs in the game industry once again.
There's no safe jobs anywhere right now.
True.
I'm gonna be real with you.
True.
I have multiple friends who have gotten laid off who are not in the games industry within the last week and a half because it's the end of the quarter and dudes want to see numbers go up. And the way to make numbers go up is to fire people, apparently.
But the difference is that while many industries are still struggling right now, especially as we're still coming out of the post-COVID weird world state, and the economy is not yet fully recovered, and yada yada, games industry is doing great. Games industry is incredibly successful, and yet somehow these studios cannot continue to hang on to people. Telltale Studios has cut a lot of jobs at their U.S. studio. And if you're getting a sense of deja vu, yes, this is the second time, like the original Telltale died, and then a new Telltale Studios was formed, and now they're laying off people again as well. And they said it's due to current market conditions. They also laid off people at another company that they acquired in August, literally less than 2 months ago, and those people were laid off as well. Also, I don't remember us talking about this. I feel like we might have, though, but the news is a blur at this point. There was a quality assurance team who unionized at BioWare that was working on Dragon Age Dreadwolf, and all of those people have been laid off at this point.
Look, I'm gonna be real with you. I fucking love Dragon Age Inquisition. I have zero hopes for Dreadwolf at this point.
That makes
It's
one of us on this
fucking
podcast.
ground.
I know the other one of us is probably hoping and praying that it's.
I mean, I'm hoping, but
I hope it's
also,
good. I don't think it's gonna be.
I'm not. I feel like this might be Dragon Age Andromeda, and while I found enjoyment out of Mass Effect Andromeda, it wasn't the same, right?
Look,
and it had its problems.
Look.
So,
at the end of the day, I know I'm going to get to crack that egg. So, baseline, I'll be able to check that box.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think that game's going to be any good. Given everything that's gone on at BioWare.
While we're on the topic, remember a couple months ago how we talked about BioWare laid off like 20% of their staff. Now they're being sued by 7 of those folks. This is the part that I found really interesting. Between of these 7 people, an average tenure of 14 years between them have sued BioWare to get further compensation from the company beyond what their severance was. According to the lawsuit, basically the severance packages were significantly less than the 1 month of pay per year of service that Canadian courts typically give in cases like these. So they're going to have to take BioWare to court to get seemingly blood from a stone, because apparently BioWare's super struggling right now, and they have EA to thank for that in part, and also they're just mismanagement in part, and that's the other thing. Like, we're going to talk about some mediocre white dudes later in the podcast that we've talked about in weeks past, and I feel like that this is what ultimately it boils up to at the end of the day, is that you have really poor management, typically white, typically male, typically cis and heterosexual, making really shit decisions.
Yeah. And
other folks, like the normal run-of-the-mill people, are the ones meant to bear the burden. And somehow these people in positions of power, and this is not unique to the games industry in any way, shape, or form, but are given unlimited chances, unless they fuck up so badly that they completely tarnish the viability of the company long term. Like that's the only thing that could happen. Like as long as it's a situation that can be dug out of, they'll give this dude a chance to get himself out of the mess, pull himself up by his very wealthy bootstraps, to get them out of the mess that he himself created.
And that's the thing, right? Like they will work tirelessly to make sure that you can pull yourself up. Here's some bootstraps. Here's a rope. Here's a rope ladder. Here's a pole. Like something.
I'm gonna pull myself up by my wingtips to make sure that I get a chance to unfuck this situation that I fucked royally through my bad decisions, bad strategic moves, and everything else. I hate it here, guys. I really fucking do.
Man. It's I mean, all this sucks, right? Like, especially because we're coming up on like the holidays, that are traditionally celebrated in this country, where peace and goodwill towards men and all that. But they tell stories about how like rich old white guys have to be on their fucking deathbeds, literally have to see death in the face before they decide to help people. And those aren't just like fairy tales. Like this is for real, man. I was listening to a couple podcasts, and one guy was going on about how unions aren't as strong as he thinks they could be, and that most unions will end up failing. And this guy knows more about business than I do, but like, nah, I form a union. Like, unions are there to protect people. Yeah, some unions are corrupt. I had a friend of mine who was like, well, I don't know about unions because the police union is, they protect bad cops. Well, yeah, but guess what? Like, not everybody's a cop, yo.
Right.
Like, what kind of stupid ass argument is that?
I also don't like the fucking fraternal order of police.
On the flip side, though, police and firefighters and other public servants like have some of the best fucking employee benefits that you'll find anywhere. Like that's what
because they have really strong unions.
Right. Huh. Like, what the fuck? So yeah, man. I remember working retail.
Mm-hmm.
Every retail job I've ever had, they give first day, they come in and they show you a video, and it's like, we are a non-union company. If you try to form one, we will fire your ass. Like they will straight up say it. And there's a reason why they don't want you to do it. Right? It's because they work. It's the reason why certain people don't want certain people to vote because it works, right? It's the reason why these big ass companies don't want unions because they work. So, and the game industry is no different. It's just because it's something that we like doesn't mean that they're not full of shit just like every other company.
Yeah.
And look, man, I'm not. And look, every week it seems like we're coming on here and we're talking about this shit. First of all, it's not our fault. Okay, like
It's not.
you tell these companies to stop firing people for no fucking reason.
Seriously.
It's their fault. And second of all, like you can enjoy your games. I enjoy my games, but like, just we're just trying to help you be aware.
Yeah.
That's all. Like we're not trying to bring down the mood of the room. Trust me. In a couple of weeks, I'm gonna be gushing about a Spider-Man video game.
Yeah. Well,
But,
and again, like the thing to remember is that this is also going to be pretext. This will affect you as the end user anyway, because this is going to be the pretext to the raising of prices and to adding more avenues of monetization in games. So because they say, look, we can't afford to with these meager scrapings that we're taking right now in this multi-billion-dollar industry that we're in. There's no way that we can survive unless we, jack the price of games up and make you buy a bunch of microtransactions and shit. And this is why we have to shift to a live service model for our games instead of, making traditional single player games, because traditional single player games just don't have the continued revenue stream that we require in order to do this. And the problem is because everyone's chasing trends, everyone's chasing fads, and everyone pushes all their chips in the middle of the table to be part of to keep up with the Joneses, as it were. And the problem is that they realize is that you can't just make a good product and expect it to rain gold coins into a Scrooge McDuck sized vault in your company. Doesn't work that way. There's intangible factors that you can't predict. There's other games, other people doing the same thing in the marketplace, and not everyone needs to chase the same track. Like not everyone needs to take the same strategy. There is room for a multitude of different games and different strategies and different genres and things of that nature that could be successful in this business. Again, arguably the biggest game of the year in a year that had a new game from Bethesda, the fucking Breath of the Wild sequel. Think of all the Resident Evil 4, which is considered a fantastic remake of one of the best action games of all time.
Baldur's Gate 3.
Well, that's my point. Is that the biggest game in this year of all these tentpole releases coming out is a fucking CRPG based on Dungeons and Dragons from Larian Studios. Like that's the game that's had the biggest impact this year, bar none. So it just goes to show you, if you make a good game and you stop trying to chase trends, you just might find some success if you give people time to make great products.
Yeah, make art, man.
Right.
Make art. Like there's a reason why it's the reason why those games from the 80s are so revered. It's not just nostalgia. Like they were creating art, man. There's a reason why the Metroid style of game is still around. I'm not going to call it that.
I love your like that's my favorite bit on the show is your continued aversion. Like the Vania part is still relevant in the genre descriptor of that game. Like Castlevania added.
What came first?
I'm not saying what came first. I'm saying Castlevania added things to the formula that Metroid did not originally have that are part of.
Look,
that
it's a
genre
combination because Symphony of the Night is considered one of the greatest games of all time, and it was such a main. Like I don't even fucking like these games, and I know this shit. Like,
Metroid of the Night. How about that? How about I just call it Metroid of the Night?
Micah.
The Metroid of the Night style game is still around because like it's a work of art. It's timeless. And
I don't like those games.
I mean, look, I get it, but it's its own genre.
That illustrates my point, though, Carrie. Is that not every game needs to appeal to everybody? Like,
right,
it's
exactly.
okay for
That's the thing. It's like I don't like to play Metroid. I like the lore of Metroid, and I love the lore of Castlevania, and I love all the music and all that shit. But like, I'm not going to play those games because I'm not good at them, and I'm not trying to get good at them. It's just not something I'm going to enjoy. I want to play a fucking turn-based single-player Japanese-developed role-playing game. Thank you.
Yeah.
But again, there's a reason why games like that are still made, right?
Mm-hmm. There's
They
a
weren't
reason why Sea
chasing.
of Stars came out this year and was received with massive critical acclaim.
Right.
Yep.
And, again, a turn-based JRPG is not, the mainstream kind of success. Because, you see Final Fantasy releasing a new game this year. Final Fantasy 16 does not look or play anything like the Final Fantasies of old that helped make that franchise be one of the biggest franchises out there.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for the blowback on that game.
It's already happened. Like Square's already come out and be like, yeah, it didn't meet our expectations. What the fuck were your expectations then? Jesus Christ.
Right.
I thought you only trotted that line out for Western developed games that were in your portfolio. So
you know why they trotted it out? Because it plays like a Western game.
It plays like Devil May Cry.
Yoshi P, you sons of bitches.
It plays like Devil May Cry.
You're right. It plays like Devil May Cry. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It still plays. They went a little too far away from the formula. I can't wait for all these sites who are like, this game is amazing. They Donald Trumped this game, right? It's amazing.
I still want to play it.
10 out of 10. You should play it if you want to play it. It's not a bad game, but it's a 7 or an 8. Mm-hmm. If I had to boil it down to a fucking number, it's not. It's not right. It's not an oh my god, this is revolutionizing. This is a whole new genre has been created.
Because they had already come out with that style of Final Fantasy with fucking 7 remake.
Yeah.
They did it a few years ago. It's not new.
But again, trend chasing. Like, they come out with this game, it hits big because of intangible factors. It's based on like the most successful JRPG of all time with beloved characters and a beloved story, and it's sold like gangbusters. And they're like, well, that must be all Final Fantasy games now because that was successful. And it's like, you're missing other parts of that formula that you needed to make Final Fantasy VII Remake successful. You fucking idiots! Why don't you understand this? You literally do this as your job. I'm just a fucking Yahoo here on the sidelines, armchair quarterbacking things that you do, and I'm smart enough to see, that this is a bad idea. And then Rebirth's going to come out, and it's going to do gangbusters, and so what's that going to teach them? Probably the wrong lesson. Probably like, oh, we just need to, everything will be Final Fantasy VII now. Like, we just need to quadruple down on the Final Fantasy VII franchise. Clearly, it's the only thing that could be successful. Oh my god, I fucking hate the game industry. Micah,
we gotta get that Dirge of Cerberus remake.
Yeah, that's how you'll know we really crossed the Rubicon, as they say. Micah, the folks over at CD Projekt Red, the developers over there, have taken your advice. After 3 waves of job cuts in 3 months over there at CDPR, they're like, you know what? We're going to fucking unionize. Suck our dicks. So they have, the developers of that studio have formed a union. And so we will see what CDPR management has to say about that. But again, to your point, like, this is how you can, how you can, a collective will always be more effective bargaining than an individual will be.
Yeah, man. You can shake down you can intimidate an individual. It's hard to intimidate a group, especially when like they are the cogs in the machine, man. Like, they're the ones that keep this thing rolling. So good on them.
Yeah, and again, like CD Projekt Red is on a upswing of positive PR. I think that they've
after fixing their fucking
right.
game.
Like I said, credit where credit's due. We fucking rightly rained down on them when that game came out, and I think they've done a fantastic job. A No Man's Sky-esque fixing of Cyberpunk and making an expansion that has been almost universally praised and highly touted. I hope they can keep the good vibes rolling, because it's a company that people want to see succeed. So managers don't be dicks. Recognize the union, and have a harmonious workplace over there.
This would be very interesting to see if they recognize the union, because like CD Projekt Red has kind of become the gamers developer, right? Mm-hmm. Like, and they I think Larian is starting to kind of encroach on them with Baldur's Gate, but they've had the reputation of like, hey, we'll make these games, and you're gonna love us because we play games too, guys, and we know. And they've developed a cult following, and I'm curious to see what happens uh, if they recognize this thing and how the following will react.
You know what
Because
CDPR is? They are BioWare a dozen years ago, give or take,
yeah,
maybe a little bit more.
yeah,
So we'll
yeah.
see. We'll see what happens there. We'll see what happens.
Hmm.
We're gonna do a quick capitalism. Give you some ads, and then we'll be right back. So stay tuned. All right. So again, me and Micah, we are nothing if not sages. We are nothing if not clairvoyants. And I'm sure if Carrie was on the show last week, she would have agreed with this as well. We talked last week in the wake of the Epic Games laying off 15% of their workforce, over 800 employees, that this was probably the result of Tim Sweeney and upper management fucking up and doing something really shitty and having a really poor strategy, and they will pay no consequence, and it was the workers. And according to Tim Sweeney, and I cannot believe he said this out loud at Epic's Unreal Fest conference. I cannot believe this. He said that management only became aware of the financial peril that the company was in about 10 weeks ago.
You know, does he not realize like that makes him look like a liar or like a nincompoop? Like, what was the point of that? Like, I don't. This doesn't. This is when people don't know how to like interact with it. This is how you know somebody has been too rich for too long.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
and again, has had no one to check him. No one to check him. Here's another quote, and I'm sure you both are gonna love this. This wasn't a right sizing. I think we were the right size, and I loved our original plans. This was a survival move that was necessary. And what we did accomplish, the one thing, is that we stabilized our finances so we won't run out of money as we build the metaverse.
This dude needs to shut the fuck up.
yeah, you need to be quiet. You need to be quiet. Come on.
Yeah,
man.
like for as good as Unreal is for game devs, like Epic as a company is just I cannot help but roll my eyes at them because they have this fucking crusade against quote overlords like Apple and Google. Just the fact that, last year they had to pay $520 million in fines and refunds to settle an issue with the Federal Trade Commission. Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Because the FTC argued that Epic was basically tricking kids into making purchases. They're continuing to face a bunch of serious legal costs from their battle with Apple over the cut that Apple takes from in-app and app store purchases.
And revenue costs too, because again, Fortnite's still not on the App Store that 35% of smartphone users use?
Yeah.
So
it's for all the good that Epic does for the industry as far as taking a smaller cut from sales with things that are sold through the their online store versus Steam, and the revenue sharing model for Unreal Engine and all of that shit. Then you've got Sweeney out here just running his fucking mouth like a goddamn cashew. Just dumb. Just remarkably stupid shit from Tim Sweeney and from the people at Epic Games in general.
Yeah, it's...
I don't you're giving up the ghost, yo. Like what do you, I don't know, man. It's just funny to me. And look, don't trust anybody that says that's trying to lead a crusade against
Don't trust anybody who takes
because they want to be
phrase,
a big corporation, guys. They want to be a big corporation.
That's it. Also, just like I don't trust anybody who uses the phrase metaverse and creating the metaverse seriously in any sense. Well, it's fucking stupid.
Here's my thing as well, though. Like, if I'm an investor in Epic, like if I have money in Epic Games, and I hear the CEO of the company come out and be like, "Yeah, we didn't realize that our fucking books were on fire until 2.5 months ago," and that required me to lay off, 15% of the company's employees. Yeah. I'm demanding the head of the CEO. I'm demanding the head of the CFO. I'm probably demanding the head of this of the CRO as well, because that, like, if you're telling me that you know the finances of the company so poorly, to not realize that there was a pending crisis coming or a pending issue coming, that you just discovered it 10 weeks before you laid off 830 people, dude, you're incompetent at your job. It's dereliction of duty. Period.
Yeah.
Like I can't understand, and I do understand why it happens, because for all the reasons we talked about at the top of the show, but I just can't understand how a guy like Tim Sweeney is just unaccountable to any of this.
It's because he's a straight rich white man in charge of a company.
Who's made other rich white people a lot of fucking money.
Yep.
So, and the world keeps on turning. However, not everybody makes it through these sorts of situations unscathed. May I crack my knuckles and give you guys a big old dude, I told you.
Dude, I feel like this is a dude we told you.
Yeah, it probably is. It probably is, but I feel like I was the one that actually said it a couple weeks ago.
All right, sure. Fucking John Riccitiello is once again leaving a company after causing a lot of shit for that company. Unity today, was it today? Yesterday, announced Mr. Riccitiello, just weeks after the
retired.
Yes, he is,
in air quotes.
Enormous air quotes, is retiring from his position as the CEO of Unity.
Because
this is, of course, following all the bullshit that he decided to implement, as far as, that the new business model that would force devs to pay an additional monthly runtime fee every time their game was installed, on top of the existing license subscription. The backlash was swift and unforgiving from across the game development community. Unity eventually rolled back their plans, but of course, by that point, the damage was done. The stock price had fallen, and everybody was jumping ship from Unity. And many of those people are not going to be appeased by Mr. Riccitiello and his golden parachute here, because he's still going to be on payroll through April.
Yeah.
And that's on top of all the stock he gets to sell off.
Don't we know that CEOs famously retire effective immediately all the time in the world of business. They never have an off ramp. It's just like no, like I just woke up this morning and realized I was really tired and ready to go home and not work anymore. This is good. That this happening.
I genuinely hope John Riccitiello literally just takes his money and fucks off at this point.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
I just want him out of the industry.
Kind of the same thing I'd like to happen to Bobby Kotick in about 18 months' time. Is just take your fucking paycheck and just go away forever. Like, I never want to see you or hear you ever.
You have enough money to live for the rest of your life in the lap of luxury. So just take it and fuck off. Like, please.
But this is what it takes, though. Like how badly Riccitiello fucked Unity with the rollout of this plan. To as Carrie mentioned, like, the company is irreparably damaged at this point. Like, even though you've walked back a lot of the most controversial aspects of this plan that you have, developers just aren't going to trust you anymore.
Yeah.
And so most of your biggest clients are going to take their ball and go home. That's the level of fuckery that we're talking about that will actually hold a CEO accountable to other folks in the company. Had this just been a rollout that was met with derision from developers and that caused a rollback of plans, but still retain like all the developers using Unity that were using in the past, John, he would have been fine. But the fact that you can't put the genie back in the bottle, the fact that that's happened, that's what caused him to have to go away at this point. So
Yeah, the bottom line.
yeah,
Like, which is why people want to form unions to prevent companies from making the bottom line if they're being treated poorly. That's all these people care about. And look, I get it. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that like money don't mean shit. Of course it does, right? I would like a lot of money. But at the same time, like, I don't know. I'm a person too, yo. Like, I can't, I don't know. I don't have the stomach I didn't have the stomach to work at the patent and trademark office because that was just killing dreams and shit. So I don't have the stomach for business.
Micah, but on the way up the ladder, if you're into that position, if you get into that position where you're like the CEO of this massively successful company, a lot of that humanity gets beaten out of you on the way up, and it's replaced with goo gobs, to use your term, of money. You know what I mean? And it's a lot easier to not give a shit about people when you yourself are being very well compensated. Like it doesn't, it's very easy to not care, when you have a mortgage on a multi-million-dollar home and many cars and, things of that nature and all that kind of shit. So,
Yeah.
But again, I'm glad to see at least some level of accountability here. As Carrie mentioned, it's not like he's going to walk away empty-handed. Like he will have the softest landing you'll ever see, as is typical. And I'm sure after a couple months or a certain amount of time, he'll pop his dumb head up else somewhere to drive another formerly reputable company his reputation into the ground, but probably be really successful and making a lot of money doing it. So
that's the one thing I don't understand about this, right? Like, yes, the CEO is the easiest job to replace, right? You're a manager, but you're a project manager essentially, and but if you are incompetent at your job, you should be fired. But like, they're not blackballed. You know what I mean? Like, apparently, word just doesn't get around that that this guy is a buffoon.
You know what it's like. So there's a running joke in the NHL. All sports deal with this to some extent, but the NHL I feel like really deals with it. When a team fires a general manager, very rarely do you see like someone from outside the organization or someone that doesn't have general manager experience hired to fill the role. Like it's like the same 30 people are just kind of cycling between all the different teams.
Yeah.
And it's because we need a real hockey man to come in and run this hockey team. And or either that or you somehow a former player like a icon of the organization somehow gets put into the role despite having very little actual managerial experience, but he knows the game. So we got to put him in there.
He's a real hockey guy.
That's right. It's the same fucking thing. It's the same fucking scenario where it's just like, man, this guy was the CEO of this company and he made it really good. So clearly he can turn this, possibly turn this company around.
He made it really good until he didn't, which is why he's available.
When he got fucking shit. Right. So yeah, they conveniently always leave out the second part of the sentence there with that. So this is the last bit of news here is a smaller story, and we don't have a lot of information, but it still felt important to mention that 5 former Ubisoft staff members that were basically implicated in a lot of the sexual harassment allegations that went around a couple of years ago with Ubisoft have been detained by police and questioned about their role in these allegations. That took the police long enough to get there, I guess. But
what else do you fucking expect from cops in France?
So, I would imagine we'll probably have more to come on this. But it is good to see some progress heading in that specific investigation. We'll take one more ad break, and then we'll be back with the post office. All right, so we take a trip to the Dense Pixels post office where you can ask us questions that we will answer on the show, and you can join that group by going to densepixels.com/fans. T-Wash asks us, if any of you had the chance to get chromed up and anything installed, what would you replace? Also, what would Jay replace? All right, let's get this out of the way. This was obviously a baited question that was asked by T-Wash. He knows what everyone listening to the podcast knows what we're going to say, and we're going to say it because it's the correct answer. Jay would absolutely get new legs, Lieutenant Dan, and get himself over 6 feet in height if he could get chromed up.
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
You know what's funny? There's a video of a guy going around who got leg extensions, right? Like he had his legs broken.
Yeah, like that's a surgery you can do.
Yeah, to insert rods in them so that he could gain some height. And Jay's like, oh, I can't imagine anybody being that insecure. Harump, harump, harump. But if it worked and wasn't like socially like unacceptable, he'd do it.
Yeah.
Like they already have it.
If it wasn't like excruciatingly painful, he would fucking do it.
He would do it. He would do it. Just get a little bit of extra height. You know what I mean? He's like what, 5'9". He would do it. He would get an extra.
Yeah.
He would get an extra 3 inches.
I'm a cool 5'8". He's my height. Like,
what cybernetic mod would I get installed? It's a tough one. Trying to think of all the cool stuff that's in the game. Like ocular mods seem.
There's ocular mods which allow you to zoom in times 10 and I'll let you see through walls, right? There is camo that you can get under your skin. There's things to strengthen your skin. There's gorilla arms, which I'm not getting.
Gorilla arms.
I'm black. There's mantis blades that come out of your arms. There are pogo sticks for your legs, so that you can double jump. Pogo sticks don't jump in the air, but they jump in the air, but don't jump while in the air. So I don't understand that.
I think it'd be cool to like get your cardiovascular system replaced and optimized so that you're just in better, generally in better shape.
Yeah. I think that'd be cool.
In terms of overall health, I think a new cardiovascular system would be great. In terms of my gut reaction, I would love new eyeballs, man. My sight is dog shit. And I am simply glad for cheap glasses and the fact that I don't need bifocals yet.
I would get a new operating system. In the game, your operating system is the thing that allows you to do special things, right? Like slow down time, move so fast that everything around you slows down time, or let you go berserk. I like quick hacks. I like I like being a cyberpunk wizard and just going like this. And making somebody's phone explode or whatever, right? Tap into surveillance cameras and shit. I like spying on people. I'm very nosy. I just try not to outwardly show how nosy I really am. So yeah, that's why I lurk. I see all this shit that people post. I just don't engage. That's where the problem comes from. Engaging.
I will inform all of you that I am now turning off the Orioles game because it is 6-0 in the second inning. And,
Orioles magic.
Not going well.
Feel it happen.
Orioles magic. It's like BioWare magic.
I gotta say. Look, their year ahead of schedule. This year is a house money year. I refuse to be upset about this. I think it was still a really exciting season,
I said through September that team was dog shit and they won the division. So.
So
it's fine.
They'll be back. It'll be fine. They'll be back. Look. I'm a Capitals fan. I know more than anybody that you can't win it all your first go. In fact, you know what they say: if at first you don't succeed, try.
Yeah.
and you'll be successful.
The lament of the DMV sports fan.
Yes, very much so. Mad Coco GS, do you think we are one console generation from being digital only?
No, I think we're still probably a couple away, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that the internet is not treated as a basic utility like it should be. I think you still have too many people in this country who do not have consistent access to high-speed internet, who require basically physical discs in order to play their games. So I think because of that, you basically still have companies that understand that they would be losing out on a significant amount of their available target audience if they were to go digital only. And so I just think in terms of pure finance, it still doesn't make sense to have consoles be digital only.
Yeah. I've said it before, I said it again. I think that we get kind of wrapped up in, like, first world gamer problem kind of stuff. And I think we forget that a lot of people that play video games are often a generation behind. They like to buy stuff when it's used. They like to buy stuff, when it's cheaper. Again, work at GameStop for a while, you'll see that there's a lot more folks out there that are in that boat than you probably realize.
Yeah.
And so I would agree with you that I think we're still there will at least be a disc-based option. I think you'll see disc-less options become more prevalent. Mm-hmm. We're already starting to see that even in this console generation. But I think that there will always be a place for a disc-based console, at least for the next generation or two to come along. Cam says hockey is back tonight. Season does start tonight. Any predictions for the upcoming hockey season?
Alexander Ovechkin's going to score a bunch of goals.
That's true. He is. I'm doing the fool's errand. I'm going to take the Oilers as my cup pick this year. It's got to happen one of these times, right? It's got to happen one of these times, right?
I mean, I guess.
Yeah. I just because Canada would implode in some crazy way, I want an Oilers Leafs Cup final so bad. Like, I want it so badly, just because Canada would lose their collective fucking shit having to watch those two teams go up against each other. And again, one of them would have to win, maybe, unless the heat death of the universe overtakes us all, which is not impossible, given the circumstances. Casa asks, what's the most self-indulgent thing a game has allowed you to do?
Wake up feeling well rested. Own a house with minimal debt.
Is this in game, or are we doing as Carrie is suggesting and transposing that onto real life?
I suppose in game would probably be the right one.
Oh man, I don't know. Almost anything, because like that's the whole fantasy, right?
Yeah.
Web swing.
Be Spider-Man.
Yeah, web swing. That's it. Web swing. Because it's super fun, and I'll turn it on. Like I'll literally turn on old Spider-Man games just to kind of swing around for like 20 minutes because I like it, and do like whatever races or whatever are there because I like it. So there you go.
Like I said, video games allow you to do a whole load of things that are just completely offensive in real life, and I don't mean like anything like crazy. I'm like walking up to a reporter and getting mad at them and punching them in the face because of their disingenuous assertions. And things of that nature is very funny.
I mean, it's a little awkward when you're a male shepherd.
It is. It is.
I felt really uncomfortable.
I really enjoyed that they did carry that bit throughout all three games in the trilogy, though.
Yeah, she was like, I got you now.
I can't remember the lines. Like disingenuous accusations, I think was one of them, and like each game had like a really like verbose line that he would give her if you went renegade on it. Johnny says wholesome shit. What are you and yours Halloween costume ideas this year? I will go first. I don't usually celebrate Halloween. I never really have gotten too into it, and because my son doesn't really get into it, we never do anything fun for that anymore. So sorry to disappoint.
I will be finishing my relocation to California 2 days before Halloween this year. I have a couple Monster Hunter Kigus. I'll probably wear one of those to hand out candy. I also have like a Carmen Sandiego game show like contestant jacket that I had made for myself a few years ago. I'll probably wear that. That's a little comfier to wear.
You're going as a gumshoe?
Yeah, I'm going as a gumshoe.
That's dope.
Yeah.
My wife likes Halloween because she likes dressing up, but she likes dressing up as like couples and like family, right? So, and every year it's supposed to be someone's year, even though it's her year all the time, right? The problem is like we got kids, so we used to go to parties. And I remember one year I picked, I wanted to go as Show Nuff. And I was like, well, you can be like a gender bent Bruce Leroy. And she didn't want to do that. So she was Laura Charles, the lead woman in that show. Which didn't really, in that movie, which didn't really make sense because like Show Nuff and Laura Charles didn't really have a lot of interaction together. But, and Laura Charles, dressing as Laura Charles was just like putting on a dress. Like, all right.
I think your idea was better. She should have gone as a gender bent.
Yeah, she should have went as a gender bent Bruce Leroy, yo. And then one year we were like, oh, okay, we can go as Dwayne Wayne and Whitley Gilbert from a different world. So I guess I got a Hellman sweatshirt, I got a pair of Jordans and some flip up glasses. And she went as Whitley Gilbert, and Whitley Gilbert wears a dress. So it's like, all right, So when we started having kids, one year we went as a couple of Ghostbusters, and Maxwell was the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Last year I think we went as the Incredibles. This year she wanted to go as Ghostbusters again because she wanted to put our youngest son as the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I was like, yo, we did this already. Like, we can't do this again. We did this already. And then she was like, well, maybe we can go as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, huh? And I was like, I don't want to dress up this year. I don't want to buy it. I was like, all right, maybe we can go as like some Star Wars characters. I could be Han Solo, you could be Princess Leia and wear a dress. And Maxwell could be Luke, Spencer could be Yoda, or something like that. And then I looked at like how much it would cost to go as Han Solo, and it was like $300. And I'm not paying $300 for an outfit.
It's a vest.
I'm not paying $300 for an outfit.
It's a fucking vest, a Henley, and a pair of blue slacks.
So I'm not doing that. So I said, all right, well, I'm also not dressing up as a Ninja Turtle because I'm not walking up and down the street just as a Ninja Turtle in a parka. Like, I'm not doing that. So I said, look, let's just let the two boys dress up, and then we could dress up as responsible parents going to take our kids trick-or-treating. And I finally got my way. So that means I'm gonna have to dress up in some fucking clown outfit next year. But they are going as Miles Morales and Peter Parker. My two sons are going.
Very good. Anthony, finally, the last question. Thoughts on the new Slim PS5? Yeah, they did announce a new Slim PS5 today.
So
it looks kind of the same.
Here's the thing. So my buddy Barry Topping on Twitter today, I think really hit the nail on the head when he said, I've been waiting for a cheaper, better looking PS5 for ages, so naturally I'm buzzing to see that the new one looks the same and is more expensive.
So technically the big boy model, the disc drive model is the same price as the current PS5. The discless version is $50 more expensive, and they will be sure to compensate you on the back end because they are coming out with a separate disc drive that you can buy for the discless version if you decide later, oh shit, I actually need a disc, and I'm sure it'll be more expensive than the $50 difference. And I hope they don't overproduce them because we all worked at GameStop and remember how many Xbox 360 HD DVD drives we had sitting in the back for quite some time, unsold for very long.
Yeah, I do remember that.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, it looks similar. Now it has a little stripy stripe on the side that's a cutout where the plate was. It's a little smaller, which is good. It's a lot lighter, which is really good because the PS5 is not a light game console by any stretch of the imagination. This is just going to be the new console. It's cheap. I'm sure it's cheaper for them to manufacture. They're going to get better margins off of it. We see it all the time. So we see it every console generation. I don't know if the X cylinder is going to be smaller than the current Xbox Series X.
I mean, it's not big, but I'm looking at it in comparison to my PlayStation, and I mean, like anything is small compared to that original PS5. I don't mind the look of it. Like, it's very plain, but like it's called Xbox, so it looks like a box. I don't think I mean, I guess you can make it like look more like a cube, but I don't know. I don't know. It's cute. It's cute. The smaller one is cute. I would get it if I didn't have one already. I still don't like I like the design of the PS5s. I just don't like the disc drive, just the asymmetry of it.
Well, then you should have gotten the discless version, like, and then you could have a symmetrical game console.
It was either get the disc version or like don't get one, because when I bought it, it was like hard to come
by. By the way, nothing will ever be worse than the second slim PS3 that came out that had the slide top.
Yeah, fuck that thing, man.
That will live forever as the worst system redesign that we've ever seen.
Fucking atrocious.
I don't even remember what the original PS3 Slim looked like. Like, I can't even remember what the first Slim looked like because the slide top wasn't the first slim down version they came out with. I'm gonna have to Google that because I literally cannot remember it.
Yeah, they look like fax machines.
It's because the original PS3 was that like chunky, like
yes.
really high gloss
yep.
system, and then honestly, like the first Slim was it had a matte finish, and it looked like what the first PS4s looked like, but a little more rounded on top. Does that make sense?
That's right. You were 100%. Why couldn't I remember that?
Because the fucking slide top, like ultra slim PS3 was so bad that it just like it jumps into your brain whenever you think of PS3 Slims. Because I know it does for me, because I also worked at GameStop the same time you did, Brad, and had to deal with those just being broken constantly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember this at all.
What, the middle PS3
No,
Slim?
I remember the first two. I don't remember this thing with the like vents on the front.
Oh
yeah,
or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember this at all.
Yeah, it had like the top literally slides open, Micah, and that's where you put the disc in, and then you have to slide it closed again.
And unsurprisingly, it was flimsy as shit. And was constantly broken.
But it was super light, and you could wing it probably light. 50 yards if you really wanted to. Like a disc.
That's true.
That's how light it was. That's how light it was. Oh my goodness, taking us back in time. I couldn't remember with the middle. I had a middle PS3 like for a long time. I can't remember.
Yeah,
I don't know why I couldn't.
I vividly remember those. That's why I was like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? A sliding top. Yeah, that doesn't look good.
I think because when I tried to think of it, I kept going back to the slim PS4 all the time, and I was just like, no, that's not it. That's the PS4. But it looks, to Carrie's point, it looks very, very similar to the slim PS4.
Yeah, it was a good redesign in so much that it got rid of the really shitty high gloss original PS3, which just perpetually looked dirty like any high gloss piece of technology would.
I remember some people actually got upset because they're like, oh, like it doesn't say PlayStation on it anymore. Like it just says PS3, and I'm just like, who fucking cares? Like the
You're not looking at your system
PS2 said PS2. Like what the fuck? Like the original one did. Who gives a flying fuck? Holy Christ!
Yeah,
does not matter. But yeah, some people got really upset about that. They're like, I love that Spider-Man font. I'm like, well, that's your fucking prerogative, man. Like that was very much a product of its time, for sure. So
2006, yeah,
it certainly was. So that's it. That's our show.
that's what we got.
Yeah, I'm gonna wallow in misery at the Orioles' ignominious exit from the American League Division Series. That's
so it's look. I'm glad for any excuse to be able to bring up clips from the old Big Bill Hells commercial, because that's a font of memes. Anytime I get to post the big like "fuck you Baltimore" kind of thing from that old commercial. If you're unfamiliar with Big Bill Hells, just go on YouTube. I'm not even going to explain it. Just go on YouTube and type in Big Bill Hells and enjoy the greatest car commercial ever created. Oh my goodness, Gannon. Are you
Is this
upset?
it for the Orioles?
This
is
game
this is it.
If they lose tonight.
Right.
Yeah, they dropped
over.
the first 2 games of the series. They dropped game 1 of the series because of poor base running. And then they dropped game 2 of the series because of poor pitching. And I haven't been watching tonight, so I don't know. They're just
poor pitching again. has been what has damned them so far. So
it's Baltimore, baby. You figured the poor pitching would come in at some point in time. It just waited a little bit longer than it normally does.
That it did. But again, I refuse to be upset this season. It was a glorious
this was a lovely little surprise
bonus year.
As far as
it's a bonus year in terms of that goes. And look, Tottenham Hotspur, top of the league currently in the Premier League. The Capitals are tied for first place currently in the NHL. Enjoy that while it lasts. Probably they haven't played yet, Micah. That's why they're tied.
Yeah, I was supposed to say, wait, what?
Nobody has. So we can enjoy that because I don't think they're making the playoffs this year. So look, I'm gonna take my wins where I can get them.
Look, the
if it makes you feel any better, the Ravens had a humiliating loss to the Steelers.
Oh no, that's the thing. It's really funny because I woke up on Sunday and everybody was like, the Ravens are playing the Steelers, the Orioles are in the postseason, let's fucking go. And then like both teams just like shit the bed, and I was like, nice. I have no room to talk as someone who's primarily a Nationals fan because they still fucking placed 5th in the division. They won more games than they won last year, though. So I'll take what I can get.
Are you still in the grace period from the World Series? When was that?
Oh no, I ended my grace period with the Washington Nationals when it came to the World Series when they traded away Scherzer and Trey Turner and Juan Soto and everybody. Yeah, that's over. It's fine. I've made my peace with it. Look, I survived 2008 and 2009 where their star players were fucking Elijah Dukes and Lastings Millage. I can get through anything. I'm invincible. I have a World Series ring and look, it's fine. That team sucks. But I'll be fine.
One quick aside and then we'll get out of here. Carrie, did you see the rendering of the Las Vegas Golden Knights Stanley Cup championship ring?
No, but I'm going to look it up.
Do yourself a favor. I've never seen so championship rings in general have become kind of like a dick measuring contest. Like every team in every sport tries to be as gaudy as they possibly can nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the ring?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But
boy.
did you see the hidden feature of the ring?
I did not.
Oh, that's what I'm looking at now.
Apparently, Micah, the top of the ring can come off, and inset inside of the ring is a miniature hockey rink done in gold with the Vegas Golden Knights logo in the center of it.
All right, yo, that's kind of all right. This is kind of dope, yo.
It is simultaneously the most gaudy thing I've ever seen in my life, fitting for something in Las Vegas, and yet also sick as fuck.
Yeah, it's insane, and I cannot wait to see how other organizations and other sports try to one up this. Now that the die has been cast, the dagger has been fucking thrown into the ground. This is now the benchmark by which all other championship rings will be judged against. So somebody stupid probably in the NBA is going to design a ring that's so much more incredulous than this. And
this is ridiculous.
So
that's all right. That's all right. I'm waiting for some nerd, some DC nerd to create one of these rings and just jam the Flash's suit in there or some shit. Like just jam a jersey in there. And when you open it up, a jersey pops out.
That's the next frontier.
Yeah, this is very cute, but like the rink, they skimped out on the rink, man. Like the rink looks kind of dinky.
Dude, it's inset in a ring. How big can it possibly be?
Nah. You're gonna go
I don't
through
know.
all this.
Those rings are pretty fucking humongous. So
Dude, you
Yeah,
don't
man.
fucking tell me my dad
I
has
know, I
one
don't
from the
tell you.
Nationals. It's the size of a fucking plum, dude. Like it's enormous. I have a photo of it on my hand, and it's comical how big it is. That being said, I've got tiny little baby hands, so
on that note,
on that note,
you folks that just had an irreverent last 7 minutes of the show to pad out the runtime to a solid hour.
All I care about is that there is a crisp in the air.
Yeah.
There is maple spice in my coffee, and Clayton Kershaw looks sad in a dugout somewhere. It's October. It's October.
Shit.
I couldn't be happier.
Oh my god. Hopefully I'll have Forza thoughts next week. See you later, everybody. Thanks for listening.
See ya.
You're watching the Dense Pixels YouTube channel. Click the subscribe button while you're here and make sure you check out our weekly podcast where we discuss the latest gaming news and our impressions on what games we've been playing.